Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and we are going to be continuing on with the Arcana Spotlight Series on the Dash Arcanas. Before we do that, let's quick roll our soundtrack choice. Birds are excited, by the way, so expect to hear a lot of bird chirping. Alright, and this is our third time in a row getting the jazz soundtrack, so for the next episode, I'll be picking my own. Alright, so which one are we doing today? Well, I think the best choice for today would be Searing Rush. Searing Rush, as the name implies, just leaves a temporary wall of flame behind you. Now, that wall of flame is obviously just there to create like a literal line in the sand that you're daring your enemies to cross. And of course, if you dash through enemies, you get them with a nice effective burn. Now, this is one that I personally don't use very often. It's, like, to me, it seems even more situational than Ignition Rush. But, hey, I don't mind being proven wrong on this one, because maybe it is a little different. Either way, I'll find out today what this one's good for. Because I'll be perfectly frank, I don't really know. We're gonna be using this to accompany a kind of strength-based build. So, what are we going to use to complement that strength-based build? Oh, we're going to use Frostblade to... So, Frostblade and Searing Rush... Well, Frostblade is going to be responsible for holding enemies back. Then we're going to use... something that's going to be good for getting some damage done. We're going to use Gust Volley, because this will serve a dual purpose. It will allow us to hold enemies back, but then we can also use Searing Rush as a way to close distance, so we can just throw it right in someone's face. So it'll combo a Searing Rush, kind of like that. And then we'll also take Twin Turbine just because. And this is the perfect setup for Captain's Ring, but is that what I want to start with? Because I might actually want to take the Chrono Glove to make that as a control method more effective. I think that is our starting setup, and we've got many elements covered. So I wouldn't suggest that fire is a primary damage dealing element on this build right now. So we'll have to see what we can find as we're going along. But if you're looking for a good setup for Captain's Ring, this is a pretty good one. Now, of course, we have to fight with RNG to get our retro floor plan. The way I look at it, if I can get a build to work with the retro floor plan active, then it should be able to work under most circumstances. There we go. And there is nowhere in particular that I feel I have to start, but there is definitely one place where I want to start, considering the projectile-based nature of my build. So we are going to start with Atlas. The obvious reason being is because if his knights can reflect my projectiles, that just makes things more difficult for us. Now, as you can see by its use, it's really kind of... It is actually kind of difficult to get this to be used for... a whole lot of anything. That's kind of why I say that, you know, even though I wasn't big on Ignition Rush, I still use that more than I use Searing Blaze or Searing Rush, because it's actually kind of difficult to find a good use case for this. The wall of flames that you create doesn't actually stay up and active long enough to get a whole lot done. And it would be one thing if it like spit it out like behind you, like perpendicular to the direction that you go. But it's just a straight line following your exact trajectory. But, as I just demonstrated there, one thing you can do with it that, you know, the game never really alludes to it at all, but you can use it to block projectiles. So you can use it to juke out the mages and the archers, get them to fire at you, only to realize, oh, we just wasted our time shooting at a wall of flame, how silly of us. Otherwise, its greatest use is honestly just to use it to dodge through enemies and hit them with damage that way. And by the way, the reason why I'm not grabbing the Glove of Patience is mostly due to the idea that I don't necessarily want to make the cooldown times on my other Arcanas greater. Like, I'm not really looking to just spam basics. Now, that having been said, I could do that, but it's not necessarily high up on my agenda. That's why I'm not like jumping in. That's why I'm not chomping at the bit to take. Sorry, I just lost it. The Glove of Patience. But I might do it anyway because it is a nice little bonus to the Chrono Glove. I'm just trying to decide if I want any of those. Like, I already have area control handled with Twin Turbine and Frostblade. I don't really need Prickly Ballet to do that. There's nothing else there I want. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go without. But just keep in mind that Glove of Patience and Chrono Glove is a pretty popular combo for a good reason. So outside of its ability to block projectiles, I have a hard time really understanding what Searing Rush does. But I get the feeling I might also be overthinking it. It seems like Searing Rush is meant to be just kind of an aggressive push. Which, you know, that's fine. That may very well be its intended use. I'm just trying to think of more creative uses. Ow. He was hiding behind the tree! This fool went and hid behind a tree so he could sneak attack me. God damn, outsmarted by the AI. Never thought I'd see the day. Ow. Now, obviously, the enhanced Searing Rush gives you that nice little explosion at the end. That does an alright chunk of damage at the end of your dash. Also, if your build relies on burning enemies, that's a good way to get it done. I think my birds are just going nuts. At least one of them is. Okay, well, I could definitely use another good water-based Arcana. First of all, it works well with the strength build. Second of all, it'll handle Zeal quite nicely. But as you can see, the idea behind Searing Rush is that it wants to be used as a means by which to add a little bit of value onto your dash attacks. But I don't know. I personally think that if you're looking to have that kind of playstyle where you're just running in on enemies with your dash and just smacking them in the face like that, you're gonna be better off using something like Chaotic Echoes or even Ignition Rush like I used last time. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm undervaluing this, but it's hard for me to really state what the value of Searing Rush is. And that's obviously why I'm using it, because I'm trying to understand it a little bit better. But the more I'm racking my brain about it, the harder a time I'm having really understanding what exactly it is you want to be using Searing Rush for. It's a freebie, I might as well grab it. So, maybe one of you out there is a Searing Rush aficionado, and you can let me know if I'm missing a detail on how you're supposed to use it. I don't want that. So while I'm using this and trying to understand what exactly you're using Searing Rush for, let's quick talk about how I've been doing on Dead Cells, because I feel like I've made a lot of progress in that game. I now have multiple Dracula kills under my belt. So right now I'm working on unlocking Dracula outfits. I have 3 of them, and one of them, very interestingly enough, is basically Doctor Strange's outfit, which I thought was interesting. And the devs know that too, because they call it the Dr. Dracula outfit. I think this is a missed opportunity to call him Dr. Acula, but I digress. So I decided, since I now have a lot of Dracula's patterns down and mastered, now it's time to go back and start doing the Queen in the Sea stuff. I've also started unlocking some of the outfits that are associated with death. Some of those are very interesting. And just in general, I like the way Death's outfit looks. It's... But I suppose the more important thing is I definitely feel like I'm very close to, if not already set for moving up to 5 boss cells, which will allow me to do things like unlock the Thunder Shield and the Sonic Carbine. But getting those things will also entail... will also entail having to get good at the Hand of the King fight, which it's been a while since I've been good at that fight. Ow, I mistimed that. What the hell? Yeah, there's just so many of them there, I couldn't move properly. As you can see, I'm really trying to show off using this Arcana, and I'm having kind of a hard time with it. So that's one thing that you'll notice as you're playing around with things, is that they'll either stay relevant to the challenge or they'll start to struggle because the way that the enemies move actually has an easier time countering what you're doing. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now, is that the way the enemies move doesn't really allow us to use this super aggressively. But it doesn't have a long enough duration for us to use it defensively either. So, the way I'm looking at it right now, Searing Rush kind of falls into this... weird position of it not really being super great at anything. Which, after using Ignition Rush and spending some time really thinking about it, I could not say the same thing about Ignition Rush. I understand why you want to use that. Like, even if there are things that I think do its job as well, or if not better, I at least see what Ignition Rush is all about. It kind of seems like Searing Rush wants to be that combined with defensive ability, but it just doesn't do either of those things quite as well. You see, that's the sort of situation where you would want to use it in, but yeah, it just doesn't do that very well. Alright, upgrade Glacial Cross, yes please. Now, admittedly, the explosion that comes at the end of the dash on the enhanced version is useful. But again, that gives it kind of the same use case as Ignition Rush. Ignition Rush also lasts longer. So I'm left thinking to myself, who is this Arcana for? Because it's not necessarily satisfying the needs of someone looking for a good defensive dash to, you know, literally beat a heated retreat. But it doesn't. But the offensive capability it has is performed better by even by another dash Arcana within its same element, let alone other elements. I will gladly give you some money and a little bit of health to improve my damage and my armor, sir. Yeah. Go away. Now, I might just be being dismissive, but it seems like any time I'm getting value out of Searing Rush, it's by accident. Like, are you guys noticing the same thing? Because I'm really trying to... Because I'm really trying hard to understand how exactly this is working, or rather, what you use it for. Because I understand how it works. I like that one, but this isn't the right time for it. So how would I improve Searing Rush? Well, I think one thing you can do is make it so that it has multiple charges that you can use. That would at least give it more of a use. That would give it more uses. Like literally more uses, but I mean, that's what I mean by that is it would give it. It would allow it to be used for more than just dashing in on enemies and trapping them in a wall of fire. Yeah, that room was awful. We definitely take that. We like candy. Okay, we've got multiple melee-based attacks, so I think that'll help. So start by giving it multiple charges. That way you can actually set it. You can actually set it up in directions that you would want it to go. Secondly, you make it so that those walls stay out a little bit longer. Because it makes no sense to design something that just literally does nothing. Also, I could have had the prestigious diploma, but I didn't necessarily need double relic drops or brain fart or increased chaos gem gains, so it just didn't seem like it was doing anything I really cared about. Wow, that was horribly stupid of me. Alright, so the boss room is up there. Went everywhere except for there. Perfect. Got a lot of stuff for the painter's toad. And you know what? I am okay with that. And honestly, those two changes, you know, longer duration for the actual flame trail and giving it at least 2 charges, are the big changes that I would make to it. I think those would at least bring it up into a position where I would call it, you know, average. But as it stands right now, it just feels really underwhelming, at least to me. But that's why I want to ask you guys, what do you know about using Searing Rush. Because perhaps I'm the one who's out of line here. Like, it almost seems like Searing Rush would be better used in a PvP scenario where you can use it to like skirmish with people. You can like dash around them and kind of try to trick them into running into it so you can get a quick hit stun on them. That I can see working, but the way it works just normally for the single player content, not great. Like there, you can see I got some value out of it there, which, again, was nice, but it was accidental. Like, I was just trying to keep out of range of the ghouls, and they just happened to walk into it. And if the best use for something is something that happens accidentally, then yeah, it's kind of hard to recommend something. Like I said, maybe I'm the one who's out of line though. Maybe you guys know something about using this that I don't. Like I said, I think this is a move that seems like it really shines in PvP, but for single player, I don't know, it seems a little underwhelming. But I think, if I'm thinking about it realistically, even in PvP, it seems like there's better things to skirmish with than this. Like, is that right? Like, am I thinking about this properly? Hang on, I feel like I have to sneeze. And do that. Pardon me. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to blow snot into my microphone. Oh, really not smart. Oh no. Okay, not my prettiest shoot fight, I'll say that much. saying I kind of got some value out of it there when I dodged laterally and the enemy walked through it. Same problem though. I'm getting value out of it accidentally instead of actually trying to get value out of it. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Someone help me out here. Maybe I'm just a dummy. Oh damn. See, look at that. The coolest moment of the Searing Rush Arcana Spotlight was actually taken by Gust Volley. Alright, well that is all for this episode. Searing Rush, it's one of those things where I'm not going to say it's completely useless, but it is completely outshone by even other Dash Arcana, let alone other things that kind of achieve the same thing that it wants to achieve. And in the end, it just leaves it feeling so lackluster. But if you all know something about using this Arcana that I don't, please, by all means, let me know, because I am very interested in learning. I will once again thank you all for coming and spending some time with me. One last thing, if you guys are noticing a discrepancy in the audio to visual, like I believe, and this is something I noticed trying to record Elden Ring, that the software I'm currently using seems to have a delay between the visuals and the audio that's supposed to accompany them. Please let me know, and I will change what recording software I'm using. Because I would rather everything be consistent, because even if you are willing to put up with a little bit of a delay between the audio and the visual, that doesn't mean that that's necessarily high quality, and I want to make sure I'm providing as high of quality as I can for you guys. So, that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching and continuing to support me. I love all of you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and you guys have a fantastic day.